What's up, fish heads? Tony Baber here. In this video we're going to talk about soft plastics, mainly how to store and organize them to help you be better prepared while you're out there on the water. I'm going to go over some of the systems I've tried in the past, what I currently use, and then something that I'm going to try out new for this year. So let's get to it. How we doing, guys? Welcome back. If this is your first time visiting my channel or watching one of my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you can stay in touch with all the latest uploads and videos and happenings on Tony Baber Fishing. Now, let's get into soft plastics. Now, there's a ton of different ways and different ideas out there on how you can store soft plastics and just ways to be efficient with it and things that you can do to kind of help you out. I've tried a few different systems over the years. As I've grown and gotten more of a collection of baits and wider variety of different things and different styles and techniques and things, I've had to evolve and change how I store and how I also organize my baits. So when I first started out, I went with something kind of simple. It was not real big because I didn't have a whole lot of baits. I mean, we're talking like when I very first started out, and I only had maybe 2 or 3 different style baits like creatures and worms, and that was about it. So I went with something like a utility box. So it was good because it kind of kept everything organized so it wasn't messy. I could kind of separate the baits out to different ways and different styles and things like that. And I could also have multiple boxes of this. The problem came when I started getting more and more of these baits, or if you start getting into like some of these baits like the structure bugs or like the rage tail bugs that have the clam packs, they don't fit as neat in the boxes. They take up more space, or you need a different style box. So as great as it was first starting out, because I could take like worm packs and roll them up and put them in here and have a few different style bags of like one worm, or a few different colors I should say, and then for another style I could have it up here. Maybe if it was something else like a creature bait, like a rodent or something like that, I could roll them up and put them over here. You know, grubs, things like that, I could put into these little boxes, and I could have multiple boxes. So I could have like a worm box, I could have a creature box, you know, you could have like a trailer box, and on down the line. The problem was that I was getting so many boxes and I had so many baits that I was running out of room. So as great as it was for like some of these clam packs and things like that, you could still use them in these boxes. But the problem is as you get a lot more of the baits, you run out of the room to be able to store them and kind of keep them pretty well organized. So I graduated up from using something like this with a utility box to using these ziplock bags. And it's something that I found a few different videos on YouTube that kind of talked about using something similar to this. So I went with this because I debated using, I know I've seen some pros and some people use like these and taking the plastics out of the box or out of the bags and putting them straight into the boxes. Some of the things that I've heard as far as the drawback to doing that is it can warp your plastic because of the chemicals that are in the soft plastics that actually keep them soft will actually soften your utility boxes and make the dividers kind of warp and wave and things like that. So I wanted to stay away from that because I felt like I don't want to have to be replacing boxes every couple of years or whatever when they start getting pretty badly damaged. So I skipped straight over that idea, which, you know, maybe it'll work for some of you. For me, I was a little hesitant because I just didn't want to see stuff that I spend money on get damaged while I'm trying to organize and store stuff. So I went with a different approach using the Ziploc bags. So when I first started out, I used more like these smaller bags because you can cram quite a few packages in here without really running out of room. So I started off with some of the baits that I have, and even as you can see, some of the stuff that I don't do a lot of or have a lot of, like this drop shot kind of finesse stuff, I have in the smaller bags because it's, you know, I don't need like a giant bag to hold just a few things, and that way it's not taking up too much space and stuff like that. And then as I got like more graduated and got more and more styles of baits and things like that, I went to these bigger bags. So one of the advantages of using the bigger bags is you can kind of keep like an entire style all in one bag. And then what I started to do first thing was kind of break it down into smaller bags within that bag. So like if I had rage tail chunk trailers, I'd have them here. And then I'd have another bag maybe with like all the regular style chunk trailers and stuff like that, and keep them all in this one bag. which it made it great because it was easy to identify, like these are all my trailers, put it, you know, right real big across the top and things like that. So you could store a lot of different baits and you could still keep them kind of organized by individual styles within that big bag. But I knew that all my trailers, like for jigs and things, like chunk style trailers, were going to be in this one bag. Whether I wanted to use like the kicking rage tail, or if I just wanted like a more subtle, just kind of a old fashioned typical style or classic style, I guess you could say, chunk. I knew that I'd have it in here and they'd be in two separate bags so I could keep them organized within, but also still fast enough to be able to pull them out quickly. And it's the same thing with like these. So with the clam packs, obviously they take up a lot of room, so it can make it a little bit trickier. So like with the Rage Swimmers and like the bigger clam pack packages like that, it made it great because I could still fit too wide, even though, you know, they're the bigger plastic packages. I could still keep them too wide so that I'm not cramming too many in one spot. It makes it easier to get through them and kind of identify which ones you need to grab. But also it allows you to kind of keep more of them in that one bag, so I didn't have to have like multiple bags of each size. So I broke it down by size. So I have like a 3 1/4, I have a 3 3/4, the 4 1/4, and now I see that they've even got like a 5-inch version that's come out. So it made it easier with those style packages, and it's kind of the same thing with the Shadowliciouses. And then one thing that I did, if you haven't noticed, is I went color coordinated, kind of how I write or how I labeled everything. So like for my swim style, whether it was like caffeine shads or fluke style baits or swim baits or Shadowlicious baits, anything that was kind of a swimming kind of action, I used like blue colored markers because it made it easy, like a quick color signal to me that these are going to be something like if I'm looking for a swim, then I know I need to be looking for at the very least, the blue ink, and then I can go from there. And then it was kind of the same thing with like my creatures. So a lot of my creature baits, I went with like a red color, whether it was the Rage structure bugs or the rodents, things like that. I always used red on the bags to kind of help identify those as being my creature baits. And then for worms and stuff like that, I used the black ink, whether it was finesse worms, straight tail worms, drop shot, that kind of stuff, it's all black ink. And then for all my trailer stuff, whether it's chunk trailers or swim trailers, I use the green ink. So just little things that can kind of help you quickly identify and key on what baits you're looking for or what bags you're looking for, so that you can be a little bit more efficient and a little bit quicker while you're out there on the water. Because as we all know, and as I always say and constantly in all my videos, I'm all about efficiency and what can help me be the quickest to find what I need to find so that I can get back into the water and trying to catch fish. So that's kind of some of the things that I started off with. Now, something I'm going to graduate to and try new for this year, and I'm just going to try it on like a limited basis because I don't want to buy bags for everything until I decide if it's the right thing for me, is these speed bags. So they've been around for a while. I've seen a couple different iterations and versions of them. These are the Plano KVD speed bags. They have two different sizes. They have this one, which is like a double wide. It holds up to 40 bags, and then they have a smaller one, which is like about like that. I believe it holds up to 20 bags, something like that. I'm going to start off with this one. I'm going to put probably my Rage Tail structure bugs because it's something I use a lot. So I feel like that'd be a good chance to kind of get a good feel for how I like these bags and whether or not they're going to work for me. And I've already been kind of playing around with it just to kind of see what kind of sizing, the amount of baits and stuff like that I can fit in here. And I wanted to kind of show you guys and give you kind of an example or kind of an idea of how much they can hold and how they can hold baits by cramming some stuff in here and kind of showing you just a general idea of what I'm going to do with it. So just to kind of give you an example, it'll hold, these are the 4 3/4 size Rage Tail swimmers. It will hold these in here sideways with no problem. As you saw, it was completely zipped up. It wasn't bulging, wasn't sticking, you know, easy zipping, open and closed. And it folds, I mean, I've got, let's see, 5 deep right here, and I could probably fit at least another one. So, I mean, you could fit theoretically up to about 12 to 14 of these, of just the 4 3/4 Rage Tail swimmers, which, you know, are a bigger package. And then also, I kind of wanted to show you, so like it says, you can put up to about 40 bags in here, 20 on each side, and I did kind of play with it at the store, cramming some bags in here, and I was able to comfortably get about 19 bags of the structure bugs in here, or 20 bags, in here, 10 on each side, and still be able to get them in and out without having too much trouble. One of the things that I was kind of noticing was putting these in here, you can't, I don't want to say you can't see them, but it does make it a little bit harder. So one of the things I was going to try out doing was with the Strike King stuff. Of course, they've got all their labels kind of on the bottom corners of most of their baits, so it makes it a little bit easier to identify them. I figured if I put them in here upside down. So I don't know how well you can see it, but I'll post a picture up on here. It shows, that way I can kind of go through it and I'll be able to easily see the colors and what bait it is and stuff like that. And what I'll probably do is organize them by bait. So this will be like all my rage-tail structure bugs. I'll have another one for maybe all my rodents, baby rodents, things like that, and break it down like that because it'll make it easy to go in and out of the boat with them. But I feel like it also helps kind of protect them a little bit better, because like with these, as great as they are, because they can kind of seal out water and things like that, they can wear down and get holes in them and things like that. Plus, some of the problems that I've noticed is you go to close them, and it's great that they give you that good solid seal, but you'll close them up and then you'll have a big bag of air in there or something, and it kind of takes up a bunch of room in your boat. With something like this, it's a little bit more breathable, but yet it's still got a little bit of protection to it to kind of help keep your stuff a little bit dry. And then, like I said, it's easy to kind of get in and out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy like a white Sharpie or a silver Sharpie or something, and then I'll label it across the top, probably both sides facing both ways, and then also in the fronts and the ends or whatever. I'm not sure how much labeling I'm going to do, but at the very least I know I'm going to do the tops and both front and back sides, just so I can easily identify, like I can look down on this inside the boat, look at it at the top and see, hey, this is my rage-tail structure bugs, or hey, this is my worms, this is my drop shot stuff, things like that. So it's kind of an idea of some of the systems that I've tried using. Like I said, it's kind of an experiment. Play with what you want to try, what you think will work best for you based on the amount of tackle that you have, the storage space that you have, and things like that. I would recommend trying something like this out. I feel like this is going to be something I'm really going to like, and probably buy a lot more of going forward, and kind of graduate away from this stuff, because as nice as it is, like I said, the bad part is the bags break down, you have to replace them, and also it's just not quite, it doesn't feel quite as well organized. So you get a lot of them in here like this, and it can make it a little bit trickier to try to see them because they're not as well organized, in a sense, like they're not divided. You can see they kind of overlap with each other. They bounce around in the boat, they get crammed together like that. It just makes it harder to kind of keep them separated, whereas this actually has a divider in the middle of it, a little plastic leg that goes across it. I'll show you here, that you can actually pull out, or unvelcro I should say, if you didn't want to have it in there. But it does have the little divider in there. So see, you can use that divider there if you want to use it. It helps kind of separate it out and keep them separated, but it also, because it velcros away, if you have bigger bags that you needed to adapt to, like maybe a bullworm or something like that, where it's a bigger package, but you still want to be able to put a lot of them in a bag, you can do that. And one of the other things with this is it does have the ability to kind of fold down. So if you're really kind of wanting to dig in there and look at it, you can fold these edges down pretty quickly and easily, so that you can even help identify what you're looking for too. So like I said, I hope some of this stuff gives you some ideas, maybe something that'll help you out so that you can be more efficient, maybe better organized, and just enjoy your time while you're out there on the water. As always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you get something out of this and it'll help you be more organized and maybe a little bit better as far as efficiency and how you perform while you're out there on the water. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Make sure that you've subscribed to the channel, and as always, good luck and good fishing.